Hey, we're all looking for more time, right? Time to actually build things, to think, to create. But so much of our day gets eaten up by these boring, repetitive tasks. So, what we're going to do here is look at a really smart way to reclaim that time. And the best part? You don't have to become some kind of tech genius to do it. It all comes down to making one simple, smart choice. What if I told you that most of us, right now, are losing over 2 hours every single week to the exact same handful of tasks? I mean, think about that. That's more than a full workday every single month. Just gone. Poof. Wasted on stuff like sorting emails, pulling together reports, organizing files. It's like this silent thief of our most valuable thing, our time. So here it is. The big question. What if you could actually get those hours back? I mean, really, what would you do with them? Well, the good news is you absolutely can. And honestly, it is so much simpler than you probably think. Okay, first, we've got to talk about what I call the repetitive task trap. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that Monday morning routine of pulling together calendars, or that Friday afternoon thing where you create the same report again. It's that constant dragging and dropping of files. These things, they feel productive, right? But they're not. They're just quicksand for your time and your energy. So you decide, okay, that's it, I'm gonna do something about this. And what's the first thing most of us do? We fall right into the next trap, the paralysis of research. We think we have to become an expert before we can automate a single thing. So we open like a dozen tabs, we watch hours of tutorials, we end up spending hours trying to save minutes, and we're just more confused than when we started. This quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. The author got completely stuck in that research loop, trying to find the perfect tool. But the real goal was just to save time, not to become a professional student of time-saving theory. Tell me if this cycle looks familiar to you. Step 1. You feel totally overwhelmed by all the options. Step 2. You watch endless tutorials. Then you get bogged down comparing these giant feature lists and technical jargon. Your goal was to save time, but now you're just spending even more time trying to figure out how to even begin. And the result? Step 4, inaction. You do nothing. The repetitive tasks win again. But here's the way out of that trap. And this right here is the real aha moment of this whole thing. The solution isn't more research. It's a huge shift in your mindset. It's called the solve one thing rule, and it is the key to finally making some real progress. The rule is just this simple. Stop trying to become an automation guru. Stop trying to find the one tool that does everything under the sun. Instead, just identify your single biggest time drain, that one thing that drives you nuts, and focus all your energy on solving only that one problem. Right now. That's it. That's the whole strategy. So now that we've got the right mindset, let's look at the toolkit. And I want you to stop thinking of these as complicated pieces of software. Instead, think of them as 3 helpful assistants, and each one has a very specific job to do. All right, let's break down our 3 assistants. First up, you've got Claude Cowork. This is your desktop helper for organizing all those local files. Then there's Make.com. It connects your cloud apps, like Gmail and Slack, so they can finally talk to each other 24/7. And last, you have Perplexity, which is a real specialist for big, ongoing web research projects. See, each one solves a very different kind of problem. Let's take a closer look at Claude Cowork. Now, this is usually the best place to start because you don't need to know any code. You literally just describe your routine in plain English. You could say, hey, every Friday, take all the invoices from my downloads folder, rename them with today's date, and move them to the submitted folder. And it just does it. If your biggest headache is organizing files on your laptop, this assistant can solve it for you in about 10 minutes. Then you've got your cloud team. Make.com is fantastic for getting your online apps to work together. Think about automatically saving your Gmail attachments to Google Drive, or making a new Trello card from a message you starred in Slack. Perplexity, on the other hand, is a powerhouse, but it's really for massive research projects. For most of us, using it for daily tasks is like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. It's powerful, for sure, but probably way overkill right now. Okay, so how do you pick your first assistant? Look, this is not a technical decision, it's a practical one. And because we're using our solve one thing rule, the choice is actually super simple. It all comes back to this one question. Just take a second and really think about it. What is that one task you absolutely dread doing every week? If you can pinpoint that, the right tool is going to become crystal clear. So if your answer is something like, I spend way too much time moving files around and cleaning up my desktop, then your path is clear. You start with Cloud Cowork. It's designed for exactly that problem. But hey, maybe your problem isn't on your desktop at all. If it's that constant manual copy and paste between your online apps, like taking info from Gmail and putting it into Slack, then your solution is Make.com. It builds bridges between all those disconnected islands. And finally, if your job involves huge, ongoing research projects, I'm talking about tracking industry trends or compiling massive data sets from the web, then, and only then, should you look at a specialized tool like Perplexity. And just like that, you've made a choice. You did it. You didn't need to become an automation expert. You just had to solve one problem. And the result of that is huge. You've stopped the leak, and that time, it's yours again. And that really brings us to the key takeaway from all of this. Don't chase the tool with the most features or the one with all the hype. The best automation tool is simply the one you'll actually use. Seriously, progress beats perfection every single time. And so that brings us here. By solving just one of those annoying weekly tasks, you freed up over 5 hours this month. That's a lot of time. So the real question isn't about technology anymore. It's about potential. With that time back in your pocket, what are you going to build?